The Secret Blind Date. The critical moment came once again. Yumi came to the door of the Xinhua movie theater. A red banner was hung on the high wall of the movie theater. Warmly congratulate the whole county People's Armed Forces Work Conference held victoriously. Yumi knew it turned out that Guo Jiaxing was in the county for a meeting. The driver handed the movie ticket to Yumi's hand and said, "I'll wait for you outside." Yumi thought, "You really know how to kick the leader's ass. What do I need you to wait for? I haven't married him yet." But Yumi then thought, "You want to wait, then wait. As there's a chance, I will say a few good words for you." The movie had started, and Yumi lifted the curtain, seeing the screening hall was quite dark. The colorful white screen was big and scary, and a public security officer was smoking on the screen. His nostrils were bigger than the mouth of a whale. The movie is really unbelievable. A person can be big or small as he wishes, where there's such a cheap thing. Yumi pinched the ticket and looked around a few times, getting a little nervous about what she was going to do next. Luckily, a woman came over with a flashlight and sent Yumi to her seat. Yumi's heart jumped wildly. Luckily, Yumi had experience with blind dates and quickly steadied herself and sat down. On her left was a man in his 50s. On her right was also a man in his 60s. Both men were watching the movie. Yumi dared not to move, couldn't figure out if he was the left or the right one, and couldn't be bothered to look around. Yumi thought, he was a communist leader after all, so calm in front of a woman. If Wang Lianfang had this kind of calmness, why would he end up in this situation? Yumi told herself that Guo Jiaxing was not willing to talk to her in such a place. There must be his reason. It was better not to look around. Yumi's watching the movie was really like living in hell, both watching and not. The good thing was that the light was dim, so she could keep checking left and right with her afterglow. Overall, Yumi was slightly more impressed with the one in his 50s. If Yumi was able to choose, Yumi still wanted Guo Jiaxing to be the younger one, but there had been no movement on his end. Even if he touched Yumi with his foot, then Yumi would be clear. Yumi looked at the colorful white screen. Her heart did not have a bottom and was panicked and anxious. Yumi thought, just touch me, so what? It cannot be considered a problem of infidelity. But no matter what, if Guo Jiaxing was the one in his 60s, Yumi would still agree. The company has a lot of people interested in its products and services. There are not many bachelors in the government. However, it's always better to get the one in his 50s. Yumi watched the whole movie like waiting for a lucky draw and was so tired that she wanted to gasp. Yumi had no idea what the movie said. The ending wasn't complicated anyway. It was that the guy who looked the most like a bad guy wasn't good after all, and was hauled away by the Public Security Bureau. The lights came on and the movie was over. The 50s guy went left, the 60s one went right, and Yumi was left in her seat. Such an outcome Yumi was not expecting. How come there wasn't even a hello? Yumi suddenly realized that he did not like her at first glance. She was here to pick, still here wandering around. Yumi was ashamed. No wonder the driver sat waiting for her outside. The driver had seen it long ago. Yumi walked out of the movie theater alone, and her self-esteem was stripped bare once again. The driver had been waiting by the pillar. Yumi was too embarrassed to look at the driver. The driver said, "It's all set for you." Yumi was quite tired and just wanted to lay down earlier. Yumi said shamelessly to the driver, "Please send me home." The driver had no expression and said, Whatever director Guo says, I'll do. Yumi laid in a room 315 of the People's Hotel. Yumi was in a daze and had already fallen asleep. She seemed to be asleep, but to have not slept at all. Either that or dreaming. At about 10 o'clock, the door rang. Someone outside said, "Are you there? My surname is Guo." Yumi was frightened and a little suspicious. The door rang again. Yumi dared not to hesitate, turned on the light, and carefully opened a gap in the door. A strange man had already pushed the door open and came in. His face was cold and expressionless. Fortunately, Yumi already saw the conference pass on his chest, with his name on it, Guo Jiaxing. Yumi felt a burst of ecstasy, as if she had survived a desperate situation or survived a disaster. It turned out that Guo Jiaxing didn't go to the movie. Yumi lowered her head and then remembered that she wasn't wearing a coat yet. Yumi glanced at Guo Jiaxing and was about to get dressed, but Guo Jiaxing's expression immediately made her uneasy. Guo Jiaxing could not be seen by any sign of a blind date from head to toe, but like a passing guest. Yumi's heart was raised and beating in her throat. Guo Jiaxing sat in the chair and said, "Get me a glass of water." Yumi had no idea for a moment. Because she had no idea, she obeyed the command extraordinarily. Guo Jiaxing took the water. Yumi stood opposite Guo Jiaxing stupidly, forgetting to wear it.